Hey everybody, this is Robert Gardner with the Robert Gardner Wellness Podcast. I'm here with Jason Steagall today. Really excited to be chatting with him about what's going on in our practices. And Jason, can you introduce yourself and tell people where they can find you online?
Hey guys, my name is Jason Steagall. I am online at mahayanamuscletherapy.com. M-A-H, let's see, gets me every time. M-A-H-A-N-A-Y-A. Yeah, muscletherapy.com. And if you once you start spelling out, it'll start coming up. But and other than that, I'm on Facebook under the same thing, mahayanamuscletherapy.com. And you can look up Jason Steagall as well, and it'll bring you to my main page, and then you can find it from there. And yeah, that's there. And then Instagram with the same name as well.
Cool. So Jason, what did you want to chat about today? And again, this is your session, so to speak, so we can discuss, whatever it is that you need.
Oh, all right. So what I have questions about, I've been watching you for, good 2.5 years now. And I was in the middle of school when I had found you, and just recently, I've just been detailing your work and making it into, one of my own as well. And then another therapist had came up to me and asked if I was interested in teaching this type of style because it's something they haven't seen before.
Yeah.
And so I kind of started going from there in my mind, and I got a hold of, someone to help me out to get me certified. And then she told me, she's like, all right, well, you have to, figure out the curriculum and like the classes, how to break that down. And pretty much my mind was like, boom, like, oh my gosh, like I have no idea where to begin besides, with what she just said. And so, I've been kind of throwing down some rough draft stuff, but, so I reached out to you in a way of trying to help throw that and get me in a little line, or just, almost like maybe kind of like what helps you or something,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is something that I didn't have a whole lot of mentorship when I started teaching, so I just learned by teaching. You talk to the students, find out what their questions are, refine the curriculum, break it down. What I can tell you is, having taught over 10 years, I had no idea the degree to which I would have to take one thing and break it into 20 pieces to explain to people how to set things up. Like, I thought you make workbooks and DVDs, walk them through, and they'll just come right along. No. Like, the degree that I have to sit down and look at my own teaching and go, why do I do this? Why do I do it this way? Is huge. Because the students will continually ask you questions, and there are no dumb questions by any means. But I would have to ask questions to like refine the curriculum. And then you realize it was like, you could take the most simple thing. So like students right now, they'll ask me, they're like, I need a shoulder class. And I'm like, okay, like shoulder joint? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that'd take like 30 hours. And they're like, oh, because they just want me to deliver like an hour class on it. And I'm like, ugh, guys, you're asking me to cover the entire rotator cuff. Every muscle, origin, insertion, nerve, and cardiovascular structure that goes through the shoulder.
It's one of the most complicated, right?
In a way, yeah. And that's what I mean. It's like, I don't want you to feel daunted at developing curriculum, but I know this from the inside. I've done it. And the thing is, it's like I took 8 years or more to create all the workbooks and DVDs, which were called Thai Massage. And once I got to about workbook 2, are you ready? Other Thai massage teachers said, this isn't Thai massage. And I went, okay, so let's change the name and do something else. And they're like, what? Like, to teach Thai massage and then be told it's not Thai, and then to be breaking it down for Western students, and like, they're still asking about energy lines, and still asking about anatomy, and still asking about theory, and still asking about a million little pieces where the thing that you felt like should have been Cliff's Notes of 100 pages winds up being like 10 books that are 1,000 pages long to try to explain it. The complexity is like, I want to keep going long, but the students need the curriculum delivered in a very concise, specific way.
Is that, as you're saying, I had to explain so many things in it, was it because, you know, you make one curriculum, but, you know, someone else is, you know, like I said, they're asking like a simple question, but, you know, it should be simply answered. And so maybe they're just like looking for a different way, they can't understand it, and so they're needing a different way of explanation.
Yeah. And I don't fight, by the way, when students hear this, I don't fight the fact that students want it delivered a certain way.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a dedicated math practitioner. I do not like the limitations of the table. But I've really come to terms with table work because table work is how you build a math-based practice. They think you have to just flip it. And I'm like, no. You have to go from where you are on a table, and we have to slowly, over time, transition the clients and your body mechanics down to the mat in a way that's completely gradual. And eventually the students will go, oh, this is a lot of work. And I go, yes, changing the entire cultural hegemony you live in, yes, it's difficult. When you have status quo, it's difficult to come in and just change things. You have to have clients, you have to have money, you have to have infrastructure, right? So let me just for a second just make it more complex. Like, it's not just having a tie practice. Now you have to sell it. Marketing, packaging, advertising, digital distribution, sales. How do you let people know what you do? How do you package it? How do you put it together? It's like, I'm getting therapists to deliver a completely different service than they're typically familiar with. It's like the reason I have 700 pages of sequence manuals, 9 DVDs, and then another 600 hours in that vault is because I'm not even close to where it needs to be. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with there's a question along, I had multiple questions, but the first one that stuck out to me was, you're saying, you know, to people that transition should be a little slower. So say the classes that I want to eventually do, because it's going to be set up like a 2-day class, but so starting out with the smartest way to be starting out is doing a table class.
Well, and here's where it gets complex. One, what do you really want to do?
Math. That's it's the most.
I knew this was coming.
It's hard to. It's easy to go back to tables. Tables now 100% easier, but math is like so much more. It just flows. It just goes.
So after we talk about what you want to do, then we have to talk about what will the students buy.
And kind of almost what they know, but is different.
So the thing is, I'm going to give you a quick example, okay? So like when we got on this, I'm like, and we'll see how this recording comes out, but I'm working with video cameras and software and moving stuff around, pressing buttons, trying to figure out audio signal, and it's not even good yet. Like, it's better than it was, but it's like, it's not perfect by any means. I talk to students right now, Jason. I can go live every day, 2 hours a day, and teach students 365 days a year for almost nothing.
Yeah.
The students won't sign up for that class. They're not ready for that class. They don't understand the way we're delivering information. They don't understand the technology that we're using. They don't understand the infrastructure. I'm not only having to train them in something different, I'm having to train them to learn in a completely different way that they're not familiar with.
And is that, talking the online basis, is that the learning in a whole different way?
Because they're taught in massage school, they can't learn online. And I'm like, oh, not the way that you think. I'm like, yeah, we're using 4 camera angles, wireless audio, and I'm putting anatomy on the screen. And they're like, what? And I'm like, you'll figure it out. I have to figure out, one, what do you want to do? And then two, how do you get them to come along with you? Because if the students won't sign up for class, it doesn't matter how stellar your curriculum is. It doesn't matter how amazing the camera angles are. If you can't get them to come along, I'm still, 10 years from now, I can almost guarantee you, I'm still going to be teaching what I think of as table time massage. And the reason is because the students are going to want it. And that's fine. Like, I don't fight what the students want. I just figure out how to like take them where they are and expand their parameters. But for the business side of it, you have to have students. You have to have people who are willing to go on the journey with you.
Yeah.
They have to be nurtured. They have to be cultivated. They have to be encouraged. I'm using digital technology in video, audio, Facebook groups, whatever, communication, to be able to walk those students along as much as possible. So, like, locally, I've got apprentices, and these apprentices are working with me usually about once a week. We get together sometimes 3 or 4 hours at a stretch. They ask me questions and I answer. We film it. They ask me questions and I answer. You'll see it in the vault. You're subscribed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like Kristen and Andrea, they ask me questions and I answer. They ask me questions and I answer. They're developing much, much more rapidly because they get a chance to feel the work. But here's what I see. And I've been working with Kristen for a year and a half. Kristen's body work is just getting good. But after a year and a half of doing the body work, now she's slowly starting to work on the business. And she's like, well, how do I like transition from the table to the, I'm like, okay. But if I just blow open the doors, it's like it's too much information too fast. It's not because Kristen isn't intelligent. It's that we have to transition her from where she is down to where she wants to be. And that information is gradually picked up and used. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So for you, like, and the thing is, you're in California, right?
Yeah.
Where in California?
Around Sacramento.
Okay, so Sacramento. Where's Sacramento located? Like between LA and San Francisco?
It's say like north, a little bit north of San Francisco.
Okay, a little bit north. Okay, a little further north.
So more to the Northern California.
Northern California. Okay. So the deal is, you're in Sacramento. I don't know the bodywork culture in Sacramento. Are students asking for mat-based work at all?
No, the ones that I have went to school with, they're the ones that I have really opened up, and they're opening up their people that they know.
Yeah.
Because I've done where we'll come over and we'll do trade, like they'll trade their type of bodywork, and then I'll show them my mat based, or I'll do table based still, and they're just like, holy crap, like I have to start learning this, or you gotta show me some stuff, and it's beginning. The more that I've been really working with lately, and like trading, just so I can show them this different modality that they can themselves open up to, and so that's been my biggest part. So other than that, not a lot of people outside of that have asked for mat. I've had a couple handful, but that's like random ones. Those ones I have had to like really influence in a way, and so then I've had word of mouth from a couple people that way.
Yeah.
And so it's not a lot, but it's when the ones that have, I've definitely got a few around them, but it's not a lot at all. It's more me having to put myself out there a lot more.
Yeah. So it's interesting for me because when you messaged me, I think my response to your message initially was different than it would have been years ago. I think there was a point at which I was like, man, you're going to talk to Jason, and Jason wants to teach, and Jason is competition.
Yeah,
like you can't encourage your competition. That's not good business, right?
Yeah, I had. That's why I did write you before I asked you, because I was like, someone. Because I asked you before, or I brought it up before. I had even asked because I wanted to see your response, because
Yeah.
I really respect you. And so if you were going to be like, dude, like, this, like, you're just learning from me to do that. It's like, no, not at all. It's just, I want to see response.
So here's how I really look at it. And this gives some insight. This is why I like doing these podcasts.
Yeah.
I think less than 1% of the massage marketplace is mat-based. I teach and make plenty of money teaching less than 1% of that 1%. In other words, you come along and start doing the work and winning and teaching, and it grows. And the marketplace gets bigger. And I've already got 4 workbooks, DVDs, subscription service, infrastructure. Like, no, the notion of competition, like, you're in Northern California. Am I worried that people locally in Northern California? No, dude, we're dealing with, like, there's 1.6 million people in the greater Austin area.
That's a good amount.
And the therapists I work with occasionally are like, ooh, competition. And I'm like, dude, what we do doesn't exist. It's a statistical anomaly. So the way I look at it is this, and I want you to understand this. When I hear you talking, and this is the first time we've had like a solid conversation other than just like a Facebook message session.
Yeah.
What I'm doing with Kristen and Andrea is I'm training them, but I'm getting them ready over time to teach. Because my vested interest isn't just increasing the mat-based body work, like numbers or whatever. I'm trying to build what I'm doing. And I think there's more money in collaboration than people's perception of competition. What I'm trying to do with Kristen and Andrea is go, listen, you could go do your own thing. But what if I could help you make more money and do it more rapidly working with me and teaching my curriculum and having a certification where now Jason comes on board and now you're our hub in Sacramento.
Yes.
And now all the students are coming together and it's popping up across states. And now we're all pushing out video, pushing out podcasts. And guess who's behind the scenes helping you with everything?
The person that started it.
Yeah.
The one that had encouraged everybody.
So what I've got a vested interest in is, like, you could tell me right now, Robert, listen, I'm not interested in your shackles. I'm not interested in working with you. I'm not interested, and I go, oh, okay, cool. So what do you need help with? And we'll go right to the next thing, which is to say, I'm not going to put people under my thumb. That's not really what the goal is. So, and I'll bring this with more clarity because I think people have been very confused about this. Students would take a class with me and they'd go, oh, I wish you'd open a place. And I'd go, what? And they're like, and this is in Austin, they'd say, I wish you'd open a place. And I'm like, why? And they're like, well, I want you to give me a job. And I'm like, okay, so give me 50 to 60%. And they go, aw.
That's
I'm teaching them to work for themselves.
Yeah.
I'm teaching them to keep 100%. But they're fixated on the brick and mortar model, which isn't what I was doing. I was trying to find a bunch of crazy yahoos like you and go, let's go take over. So the deal is for you when you're teaching, I think so the two things, remember? One is like, what do you want to do? What do you enjoy? Because you'll keep working at that. And two is, what do the students want? We got to walk them along. So Elon Musk wants people to buy a Tesla and adopt electric vehicles, charged with solar panels. He's trying to create the infrastructure for the manufacturing and the solar panels and the batteries, and it's a huge ordeal. But it's like, if he is successful, what happens is he starts to get the transformation in the industry where other car makers start making electric cars and electric cars become less expensive. And then people start to look back and go, oh my God, you put like fossil fuels and burned it in a, But we're introducing a sort of new paradigm. It solves a pain relief and mobility problem, but it don't look like massage. It don't look like what people are familiar with, right?
Exactly.
So for me, it's like I don't feel, even if you go rogue, you're like, nope, I want to do my own thing. Sorry, I'm pointing the wrong way. I want to, I want to go rogue. I'm like, okay. But I know that there's more money and there's more reach in collaboration. And that's what I've been working on. It's also the reason I wanted to talk with you, because you're not the only colleague that's going to come to me and go, I want to start teaching. What I'm trying to do is develop infrastructure to go, listen, you can develop your own stuff, or I can give you a percentage and you can sell my stuff and we'll build together. And you go, but I don't know how to. I'm like, I know you don't know how to set up all the cameras. I'm going to show you how. And you're like, what? Like, here's the link on Amazon. Here's the equipment you need. Here's how you're going to set it up. I got this event called Time Massage Jam. We're working on a new trademark. I'm going to certify you and make it easier and easier and easier for you to onboard rapidly. So what Kristen sees, and she talked to me about this last night. Well, we had class. The intro Thai class started. And Kristen, she had one client. The client, she was very nervous. She didn't know if the client would transition from the table to the mat. She offered her a 3-hour session for the price of a 2-hour, something I've told her for a year and a half to do.
Yeah.
Not only did the client love the session, the client wanted to buy like a 4 or 5 pack immediately.
Yes.
And I was like, how much is that, Kristen? And she's like, the package was $800, but the lady wrote me a check for $1,000. I'm like, one client wrote you a check for $1,000? And she's like, yeah. I was like, it's pretty good, isn't it? That is a sort of ease and success I'm trying to help the clients and students with. When I say clients, like you're my client, like you're the student, you're the colleague I'm working with. I'm trying to create that for the students. It's just, I think proof of concept takes time.
Yeah.
People have, because you want to teach mat. You're like, the mat, like you, I can see it in your eye, the mat. But the thing is, the therapists aren't going to see this. 10 years from now, we're likely still going to be working at it. I'm going to tell you right now, I might have more gray hairs. I'll be a little more bald. It'll be like my hairline will recede, and we'll still be working at it. And people will still be insisting on, but the table, I was trained on a table. So those two things, what do you want to do? And what will the students like come along with? What would they pay for? That's the sweet spot. I don't really try to fight where they are. I just try to grab them where they are and go, come on, we can do this. Come on, we can do this. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, with that, I totally understand. I totally agree with the facts of like collaboration too. That's way more beneficial for everybody. And in a way, when I thought of doing this, it wasn't for competition as well. It was like to, I didn't have this in my mind. Maybe it sparked up, but to hopefully like work with each other somehow in that type of way. And so with you saying that, like I'm pretty interested in what you're saying.
I talk to Kristen and Andrea constantly. They live locally, and you can tell they're kind of looking at me like, but what's Robert's angle?
Yeah.
So Kristen and Andrea both work with me. I don't charge them for training.
Yeah. That's
every once in a while they get a little, I don't know, they get testy about something. I don't know how to explain it. They get testy about something and I go, hey, Kristen, how much do I charge you for training? And she's like, nothing. And I'm like, Kristen, how do I do that? And she's like, well, you're using the recordings to teach. And I go, ding, 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 ding. So Kristen can walk because she can decide, I just want to do my own thing. And that's great. Yeah. But I don't have time forever to sit down and just help everybody do their own thing. What I have to do is I have to make collaboration so appealing, so amazing, so easy, so lucrative, so whatever, that you go, no, I'm on. This is the brand. Like, it's not even me. and you have to understand this too. This is where people confuse. They used to tell me all the time, they're like, you need to call it the Gardner method. And I'm like, no, horrible brand, horrible. And they're like, oh, I'm like, yo, bro, I'm creating Nike.
And I remember,
Nike.
Remember you saying something in a video before. It was like, this ain't mine. It's like everybody's. Like, it's for everybody's hate. Like,
I may own the brand, and I may have a trademark, and I may deal with some quality control, but beyond a certain point, like what I'm trying to do is craft a brand that has individuality towards you. So let's say I get a brand name, and you start teaching under that brand name. I don't expect you to be me. I don't expect Kristen to be me. I don't expect Andrea to be me. I expect you to be you. Now, 80% of the curriculum needs to be fairly consistent.
yeah.
If you were like, I want to teach, but I only want to teach on a table with the person draped, with effleurage, then you shake your head. Why?
That's the opposite. Like,
Exactly. So the thing is, I don't know that I want that to be part of the curriculum. But if you take my version of table time massage and like you're teaching it and you're under the brand and you're morphing it a little bit, I don't go, you can't do that. You have to teach this 10-step protocol. No. Like there's a real confusion in the industry about the difference between a modality and a brand. Very, very, very deep. I mean, this is psychological, emotional positioning and like people's desires and like what they want. I'm trying to create Nike. I'm trying to create a brand that's so strong that clients are like banging at the gates trying to get a session. And I go, come on, guys. And I start, are you ready? Pushing traffic to you.
yeah.
Telling people, oh, you're in Burbank? Oh, you're in San Francisco? Okay, you got to go up and say Jason. It's the closest I got. It's like if I can help you make money, it'll work. If I can make it easier, it'll work. And here's the thing. Do I want to open a brick and mortar and then go, Jason, give me 50%?
No? What let me... Yeah.
No. So I'm saying yes, that I'm agreeing with you that I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to interact that way. Like, I don't want people who are... So in other words, I don't even want you to go, oh, okay, I can make money doing this. I'm going to do it. I need believers. I need to create Nike and have you run around like the swoosh. This is it. Let's go. So believer is not financially motivated. Believers will carry a message everywhere. Believers will work 24 hours a day. Believers will, want to share the work, run a time massage jam, work with the public, shoot more video, dedicate their life to it, develop mastery. And the thing is, once you get to a certain point, you get to where Kristen's at, and one client writes a check for $1,000. Other therapists think that's impossible. I think they're wrong.
Yeah. No, yeah. That's honestly, never really kind of imagined, like from watching stuff to like even having this be an option, like for myself at least, right? And even just watching, just like I remember how much I've been following you. Just man, I'm trying to just going through everything right now in my head. I'm just like, dang, yeah, that's.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get there, but look at it this way. Let's say today you're like, I'm in. Let's do this. You're like, I don't even want to develop my own curriculum. How do I get in with you and like teach my version of table time massage, teach my version of intro Thai, help you develop the brand? I want in on the ground floor. There may be a point, I'm not there yet, but there may be a point where, one, are you ready? Let's say I can't afford yet to fly to Burbank, and we're in the middle of COVID still-ish, so I don't want to fly right now. And you go, Robert, can I apprentice with you online and do one-on-one online trainings? So I'm on video right now. I'm going to work with Kristen.
Yeah.
You're going to work with somebody. I'm going to go, Jason, listen, take your shoulders and stack your shoulders like above where your hand is so you can lean down.
Yeah.
I'm teaching you one-on-one, a one-on-one apprenticeship online from Austin to Sacramento.
Yeah.
The students don't think that's possible. And I'm like, you're wrong. And here's the thing. When we're past COVID and I know you're on board and I filed a trademark and you get certified and you're like, let's do this. And I go, okay, listen, do you have a Thai massage mat?
Yeah.
Can you put it in your apartment and let me sleep on it?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So I'm gonna come out in 3 months and I'm gonna stay with you for a week, but I'm gonna bring my camera so I can film you and shoot some footage. What do you think?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. And then when I get home, I'm going to use my computer and edit the footage and put logos and graphics on it and do some of the video processing and editing to make you look like a rock star. What do you think?
You're legit.
And other people go, well, how much? And I'm like, I don't know. We'll work it out. And they're like, what? I'm like, listen, if I can't get you on board, it's not going to work.
Yeah, that's worth that's worth all investment.
Yeah, but if I get 10 of us, just 10. Think about it. In the United States, 10 solid students producing video at scale.
Yeah.
And everybody goes, oh my God, I want to do that. And I go, okay, yeah, there's a subscription, there's some workbooks, DVDs, I'll see you in the live stream next week. Yeah. And my job is to fly around and go, hey, Jason, make video, make the students. And that's what I'm doing with Kristen and Andrea is I'm getting behind them and starting to push them forward. I'm not the brand. I'm just some Yahoo. You are the brand.
Yeah.
I'm promoting you because when I show Jason winning, other students want to be like you. And that's what I'm building. For you, it really depends on, what you want to do and then how you want to develop your practice. And that includes a teaching practice, which is really what you're asking about. Because I can see you thinking past just seeing clients.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, since that's been brought up, it's definitely something like, all right, I want to be there, like whatever, like, as, not like, without pressuring it. I just want to get there, comfortable and, yes, as fast as possible in a way. Not really, but comfortable. Just, yeah.
The comfortable pacing is exactly what you deal with students. The same way that you learn to do the body work by practice and repetition is the same way you learn the teaching, by practice and repetition. I learned tons, and I encourage students to ask questions because I learned tons about teaching and how to put information and curriculum together by repeatedly working with students and answering their questions. When a student asks a question 10 times, I shoot a video on it, answer the question in video, and go, here's the link. Whoop. How do I did a thing where I was back bending somebody on a table and they're like, well, what do you do when you forward bend them? And I went to my YouTube channel and typed in hip mobility, whatever, found a video and went this. And they're like, whoa. Now they can search through my own channel, right?
Yeah.
But they don't know my stuff the way I know it.
Yeah.
And a clickable link encourages a behavior. So for me, what they do is they watch one video on YouTube for free. They interact with me and get a second YouTube video for free. And then they go, man, if he's giving all this away, what's he charging for? And I'm like, 600 hours.
Yeah. But yeah, with that, with teaching too, I want it to be definitely a balanced thing. I just want it to, pretty much help on both ends. Like help people, physically, and then help people learn how to help more people in that same exact way.
Yeah.
Pretty much the basics of pretty much why we do this.
Yeah. I mean, there's a different mindset between the Thai Massage Jam and the professional brand, whatever that is. The Thai Massage Jam is slowly, it looks like, going to transition towards a public event. And then the brand name is for the therapists, the professional license, whatever.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen over time. But there's a lot of it where I'm just making it up as I go along. Like I'm testing the marketplace, seeing what people respond to, because remember how I said you got to be something you enjoy? So here's what I enjoy. I enjoy turning on the cameras and going, hey, what do you guys have questions about? And you say, hey, I need something for the hip. And I'm like, okay, mat, table, and I just show it.
Yeah.
That's how I teach. The problem is the students want stuff that's got a little more structure. Does it make sense?
Yeah, is that what you're talking about? Like the modality, like where it has like a
Protocol.
structure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah. And the thing is, I teach more from an improvisational level, but I developed routines and workbooks and DVDs and sequences to give them something to reference back to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've totally got caught in that from all your videos and stuff, and I've taken, and to me it's more comfortable not having a sequence and going in, and pretty much, yeah, they're up there, something's in the upper body's hurting, like I go in, just I just start, because everybody's different anyway. Like I'll start with somebody else a different way than the last person. It's just kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of, I can't really explain it.
You're more comfortable in improvising.
Since you've brought that up, I've tried it multiple times, and then that's how I do my sessions now.
Yeah.
It's way more comfortable for myself.
One of the biggest challenges I have, and I just started Intro Thai last night. This is the first class.
Okay.
This is the first workbook that I wrote. This is probably, I had to look, I was thinking about it. I need to look at the workbook and figure out what year it was. But I think it was like 2012, I think. So I wrote this almost 10 years ago and I'm still teaching it. And they're just asking questions about, well, how do I'm not comfortable kneeling that way. How do I change this? And I'm going, dude, I've already taught this like 9 million times. But no, the student has a question. The information is only so organized because of my flaws. I don't have a Google-like search engine inside Teachable to put it together for them. So answer their question. And each student, where I answer the question and build them up, answer the question and build them up, answer the question and build them up, the business keeps growing. It keeps working. And it's like, it's death by 1,000 cuts. It's like, you want to teach math. You may, and I'm not telling you what you have to do, by the way. You may find that you're like, you may be like me. You sound like me. I get a sense of, I don't know, something about your attitude is more like me. You're the colleague that not only can I work with as a student, but we'd like take tequila shots after class. Like somebody I get along with socially as much as professionally. You may have to start with the students on a table and then keep working with them to open their parameters. What I tend to do is I use the table, because that's what they're familiar with, that's what they want, that's what they're comfortable with. I use the table until it starts to break down.
Makes sense.
And they go, oh, wow. Because here's what happens. I teach table time massage. When I teach table time massage, usually at the first day, the second half of the day, the students start getting on the table. Why did they get on the table, Jason?
I was expecting to be worked on. I don't know. You got me right there.
No, they're working on somebody.
Okay.
And as they're working on someone, they start getting on the table.
So because they want to use more of their body. Yeah, more body weight. Okay.
Leverage, pressure, angle.
Yeah.
So I can sit there and tell them, listen, guys, the mat is superior to the table because of the leverage of angle and pressure, and body weight allows more options, and they don't care.
Yeah.
Don't care. But when I teach them in person and they feel it, they start, and I don't tell them to get on the table, by the way. I just show them stuff and watch them evolve.
Yeah.
In the construct they're familiar with. They're comfortable with the table. I show them on a table. I work with them on a table. Halfway through the table class, first day, they start getting on the table. And I wait. I've done this so many times that it's honed in my nervous system. And let's say I've got 20 students in class. 5 of them are getting on the table. And I walk around and I go, you're doing mat work, you're doing mat work, you're doing mat work, and you're doing mat work. And they go, oh.
Yeah.
Because talk is cheap. But when they feel it, they go, I mean, how do you feel about your sky mat right now?
Yeah, sky.
It's too small. You need a bigger mat. You want more use of your legs and feet? Let's bring them down to the mat. And they go, oh. But until then, they don't get it. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
They can't feel it. And that's one of the biggest hurdles and obstacles in our goal or quest to get people on the mat. Not just clients, but therapists themselves. Most therapists have never had a mat session from a fully versed, competent practitioner. That means they don't desire it, they don't want it, they've never seen it. What I did do was I leveraged video and said, oh, hold on. It's clothes on, we can show them again and 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 normalize it. Electric car is normal. Tesla.
Yeah.
You've seen it. No, it's normal. It's a car. You plug it in. Let's go. Let's drive. 60 miles an hour, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally get it. And yeah, I totally get like you having to use the mat, or not the mat, but the table to transition. And that's part of the, I'd say fun of it is watching that, like you said, that day and a half. I haven't done it myself, but that would be the part of the fun of it, is seeing that transition. Like, hey, like you're naturally doing mat work. Like, you want to try it, pull out a mat,
It's definitely, you catch more flies with honey.
Yeah.
Giving the person what they want. But
still there. Yeah.
Say it again.
And then I said, being with like the table's still there, so it's like, you're used to that, but.
I mean, the students are very uncomfortable. If I come in, just give you an example. I go in, there's a class. There's 10 tables lined up and 20 students. And I go, hey guys, just push those to the side. We don't need those anymore.
Like, what?
No, I mean, it's very unsettling. Like, you're taking the thing that they identify as, I'm a massage therapist. I work on a table. You're taking the thing that identifies them and going, get rid of it.
Yeah.
We're doing new stuff. We're doing new stuff now.
It's like, take what you know and just kind of push it to the side.
So what I go is, no. Your table's great. I'm going to show you. And I develop the table and adapt the table. And then all of a sudden, once I open it up, so just this, a student wanted to add, table time massage to her menu of services. And she wrote me and she was like, how do I do this with like cream and glide and nudity is basically what she asked me for.
Mm-hmm. I know how I would do it, but yeah.
But the thing is, how much time do I spend going, okay, here's how you do it with cream and glide and nudity? Very little.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to do is bring them along to a new sort of practice. And I go, listen, don't even add it to your menu of services. Adding Thai massage to your menu of services is a loss. It's too much work. It's too much time. Are you ready? The way you get the client to transition is you say, listen, take off your shoes, lay down on the table just like you are. I'm going to move you around to see where we're going to work. That's how you add it to your menu of services. After you've practiced it and done 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 it, 30 minutes an hour, 30 minutes an hour, 30 minutes an hour, and you're a mechanic and you can wipe them out, after 10 minutes, you go, listen, do you want to keep doing what we're doing? Or do you want to take off your clothes for deep tissue? Mm-hmm. The client will go, no, this is really good. Can we keep doing this? And you go, absolutely. And that's table time massage. Once the client is blown away, now they're like, dude, what was that? And you're like, Thai massage. That's how you build it. It's kind of cart horse in a way. The consumer is not going out. Our customers are not coming out going, I want Thai massage. They have no idea what Thai massage is. For 10 plus years, the most searched for keyword term on Google is, what is Thai massage? Because nobody knows what it is.
Yeah, that seems crazy to myself.
but we're swimming in it every day.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And the thing for other people, they don't know. The reason why I've leaned so heavily on video production is because it allows me to continually show people repetitively.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is how we're gonna change things, excel, succeed.
Wait 1 second. Ready.
So what else can I help you with?
Oh, not that we covered really a lot. See, I have no really. I was still trying to think about main questions I had. Not really too much, but I'm really interested in following like your curriculum and like going with keep going with you. Like you see what like going from there and see what's. Yeah, that seems exciting for myself.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like dotting your I's and crossing your T's. There's a lot of stuff that I'm developing. Just like I got you on this, and I was like, you sat there for like 10 minutes patiently and quiet while I'm pressing buttons trying to. Like, there's still a lot of that going on where it's much easier when it's structured and then like set up and smooth. But in the beginning, it's always a little clunky. It always takes twice as long as you think it does. There's always, I mean, dude, somebody will order something and it doesn't collect their address, and then I got to email them, and then it take 3 days to write me, and like you can't contact them through Facebook because you're not already friends, and it's like all of business is full of those things.
Yeah.
But the deal with you is you kind of get a chance to get on the ground floor and then start working. And currently, at least, I've got enough free time to be able to dedicate to students who want to grow and build and want to come along. Like, even in the subscribers group on Facebook, I think it's interesting because like I put out a notification and was like, hey, I got some time on Wednesday and Thursday. Who wants to do like a private consult? It's similar to this. Yeah. And like one person